Hi there, my name is Ruth. I'm a pre and postnatal family outreach worker, and my topic for today is breastfeeding. So I want to try to give you a little bit of information on the benefits of breastfeeding, just a few tricks and tips as well. It's wise to be as informed as you can when you make decisions that affect your baby, and so that's my purpose here today. So I'm gonna go to my slides and get you to take a look here as I start this. Hang on. And that's not where I wanted to start exactly. Here we go. So why breastfeed? Why is it important? Or what are the benefits? It's convenient. It's always the right temperature and it's available anytime. You don't have to sterilize bottles or warm bottles up before you feed your baby. Sometimes babies aren't very patient and they're screaming while they're waiting for their food. And this way you can just pop them on. It's free. It's not nearly as costly as formula is. It promotes bonding between you and your baby. Oxytocin gets released when you are skin to skin with your baby, which is a love hormone, and that just develops that attachment between you and your little one. It's environmentally friendly, so there's no waste products. It reduces healthcare costs. It provides all the nutrients your baby needs. Your breast milk changes as with baby's needs as well, which is pretty amazing. It has all the vitamins, the nutrients, all the minerals, the fats, the carbs, and protein, all of that, exactly what baby needs at certain times. So your breast milk is always changing to meet baby's needs. It helps protect your baby from infections and illness like ear, chest, and stomach infections. And colostrum is a superpower, actually. It's liquid gold that is loaded with antibodies that can help fight any illnesses that baby might have contact with or be in contact with. And so what happens is it just coats their stomach, and it just keeps them healthier. It also decreases the risk of SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. It builds healthy eating habits, so there's less likelihood of childhood obesity. It promotes proper jaw development. It promotes healthy brain development as well. Sometimes, it's been said that babies who are breastfed have higher IQs. I'm not sure if that's totally true or not, but that's what they say. So it also controls postpartum bleeding. It decreases the rate of breast and ovarian cancer for females. And it could help you lose weight. No guarantees, but it certainly could, because baby it takes calories to breastfeed, and so and that's one way to lose weight. It slows down the return of your period as well. So getting started. So when you are getting ready to breastfeed, get as comfortable as you can. You want to be relaxed and have your back well supported. You don't want to lean over baby because that's just going to put a lot of strain on your back, and you're not going to enjoy it. So just lean back and get really comfortable. Put baby skin to skin, especially at the beginning. And in fact, that's going to be encouraged right after you deliver your baby. And skin to skin has some great benefits. It stabilizes the baby's heart rate, breathing, and blood sugar. It keeps your baby warm through your body heat. It promotes bonding and getting to know your baby. It helps your baby to be calmer, and cry less. It helps you to be more confident and relaxed. It helps your milk flow and may improve your milk supply. It promotes a good latch, and this means that you are less likely to develop sore nipples and your baby will get more milk. So lots of good reasons to do that skin to skin with baby. Follow baby's cues. You're going to learn cues of when they're hungry, and I'll go through some of those cues in just a bit. Tummy to mommy. So their tummy should be right up against your tummy, their face to your breast, their nose to your nipple, and their bottom tucked in. there's several different positions to breastfeed, and you'll want to probably experiment with them. But when you're first starting out, the cradle hold is probably the best bet, because that way you can see how baby's latching on and see if he's doing it properly. Hand express a few drops to get baby interested in latching. So just express a little bit of milk, and a baby will smell that, and he'll say, "Oh, I want that." So that's going to draw him to your breast. Your baby's ear, shoulder, and hip should be in a straight line. You don't want baby to, turn his head with the rest of the body, straighter or in a different direction. You don't eat like this, right? Sideways. It's hard to swallow that way. And same with your baby. So make sure that baby is lined up with the ear, shoulder, hip, all in a straight line. Your baby's head should be lightly or slightly tilted back, and this allows him to get a deeper latch and swallow easily. Baby should have more of the breast below the nipple in his mouth rather than above the nipple. You don't want to, it's called breastfeeding, it's not called nipple feeding. If you nipple feed, then you'll know, because you'll just be really, really sore. Drink lots of water, and also be patient, because like I said, it's a natural thing to breastfeed, but it doesn't come easy for everybody. And so give yourself some time and give baby some time to learn how to do this thing. So hunger cues, it's more about watching your baby and not the clock. So it's not about scheduling, although you do want baby to feed roughly, at least eight times a feed. And I'm going to go into some of that in a bit too. But know the cues of when baby's hungry. So baby's hungry, the early cues are they're starting to stir, they move their arms, they put their hand to their mouth is open, or they're licking, or they're yawning. They have a rooting reflex, which means that they're seeking food with their mouth, and they're stretching or they're sucking. The late cues are if they're crying. So once they start crying, it's a little bit late. They're agitated, or they get really angry, and then it's really hard to get them latched on. So the first thing you want to do is just calm them first, cuddle, do the skin to skin, talk to them, sing to them, rock them, that sort of thing. And once they're calm, it's a lot easier to get them onto the breast effectively. So how do you tell if your baby is latched well? Well, you can see the baby's mouth open wide to take the breast, and the baby's nose and the chin are touching the breast. Their lips are rolled out and relaxed, so kind of flanged out. The baby sucks slowly, and you feel a gentle tug. Ears or the temple are moving while he sucks. And you should be able to hear sucking. Your breast after a feed should feel emptier, lighter, like if you kind of, just feel. And it's softer too, because usually with a full breast, it's harder. And it should be comfortable for you. If it's not comfortable, take baby off and reposition baby, and make sure that you wait for that mouth to open really wide, and then just pop them on. If you're still having issues, then definitely seek some help from your public health nurse, or a lactation consultant, or your doctor, or midwife, or somebody, or talk to a friend even. Some signs that feeding is going well. How often should you breastfeed in a 24-hour period? At least 8 feeds a day on average. And that is if your baby is sucking strongly, slowly, steadily, and swallowing often. Some babies cluster feed, and what this means is they will feed for shorter periods of time, not becoming really full, but feeding less, fussing more, and feeding more often. And that usually happens in the evening, and that's often just them working themselves up to sleep longer stretch at night. Your baby size, keep in mind that it's really small. It's the size of a cherry or a marble when they're first newborn. So they're not going to take in 3 or more ounces of milk. They're only going to take in a teaspoon or two. That's all they have room for in their tummies. And then in a couple of days, that stomach will actually grow to the size of a walnut by 3 to 4 days. By 5 to 6 days, it's the size of an apricot. And by 2 weeks to 3 weeks, it's the size of an egg. So that stomach just gets larger, and then they'll just take in more breast milk. How many wet diapers can you expect on average in a 24-hour period? Well, on day 1, it's at least 1 wet diaper. On day 2, it's 2 wet diapers. On day 3, it's 3 wet diapers. On day 4, it's 4 wet diapers. And then later after that, it's about 6 or more wet diapers a day. And that means heavy wet with pale yellow or clear urine. So at least 6 diapers you want to see a day. So soiled diapers or poopy diapers, how many in a 24-hour period? Well, the first few days, it can be 1 to 2 of soiled diapers. And the first poop is often black or dark green, and that's, their bodies are getting rid of the meconium. And it's kind of tar-like and really messy and sticky. And it will transition to brown, green, or yellow by day 3 or 4. And then by day 5 and beyond, they will have often 3 large, soft, seedy yellow stools or poops or soiled diapers. And sometimes babies actually can go for several days without pooping, and no need to be alarmed if they're happy and content. It just means that they're using everything up that they're putting in their body, and there's no excess waste, so they're not pooping it out. And but if they're fussy but really breastfed babies hardly ever get constipated, so you don't really need to worry about that too much. But if they're going a long stretch, then just talk to your public health nurse or your doctor about that and see what you can do. The baby's weight, most babies lose a bit of weight in the first 3 days after birth, but by week 2, they've regained their weight to what their birth weight was. Sometimes it's not an accurate weight if their newborn weight might be some fluid retention. If you've been on IV fluids during labor and delivery, that means excess fluid in your body, which means baby will get more fluid. And so the first couple of days, they're just getting rid of that fluid. So not to be too alarmed if they drop some weight. And like I said, they will normally gain back that birth weight by 2 weeks. So just some extra other things to know is I want to talk more about the sore nipples, because if you are sore, get help sooner rather than later, because you don't want to get to the point where they're cracked and bleeding and you're curling your toes every time you're feeding your baby. You don't want it to get to that point. So the first couple of days is going to be uncomfortable because you got to get used to having a baby suck on your breast, and it's after a day or 2 you'll get used to it a little bit more. You'll feel that tug, but it shouldn't feel sore after a couple of days. And if it is, make sure you get some help and to get that taken care of. Engorgement happens once your milk comes in, or when baby has gone a long stretch without feeding, and so your breast can become hard and full and can get really sore and uncomfortable. So what can you do for that? You can take a warm shower and let that warm water just soothe it and express some milk out. You can just hand express some out. It's pretty hard sometimes to get baby to latch on when you're really engorged, so you want to get rid of some of that milk first and then put baby on. But ideally it'd be good to not get to that point, so just feed often, and your breasts, or you're only going to make as much milk as your baby. You're only going to make as much milk as your baby needs, and so as you're feeding, you will make more milk, and as baby grows, you'll make more milk. And engorgement usually happens when there's long stretches of time when you're not feeding. Infant vitamin D drops, I mentioned this earlier, recommended to all breast-fed babies because they don't get enough of that in your breast milk. And we live in a part of the country where we don't get a lot of sunlight, and that's where we get most of our vitamin D. So we all have to really supplement. Vitamin D actually builds up our immune system and helps the formation of their bones and teeth. Your nutrition is important too, so don't forget that. You got to take care of yourself so you can take care of your baby. And so that means eating well and drinking a lot, and just really making that a priority. Birth control, like I said, don't use that. Don't depend on breastfeeding for birth control. It might work for some, but it doesn't work for everybody. And there's certain things that have to be in place when you plan on using breastfeeding as birth control. I'll mention them. Baby has to be 6 months or under. You have to only be breastfeeding. You can't be supplementing with anything else, no formula, no food or solids or anything like that. And you have to feed pretty consistently every 3 to 4 or 5 hours throughout the day and night. And I know there's more specific guidelines that you can look up. You can get that information from your public health nurse or a lactation consultant, or probably even online. But if that is the way if that's what you want to do, just make sure you know all the information and still take precautions. But yeah, just know that you can't rely on breastfeeding as birth control. Don't forget to burp your baby too after a feed. It's good to, most babies don't have an issue with getting burps out or needing to burp if they're breastfed. Usually it's the bottle-fed babies that need to be burped more. But to burp your baby, sometimes all you have to do is just change their position. Put them on your shoulder, or just sit them up and support their face and lightly tap, or just rub their back up and then maybe lightly tap. You don't have to pound them, and that will usually get some of those bubbles out. And if they're fussy, they may need to just work on that burping. You can try different positions for burping. Some resources I want to share with you so that you can look deeper into getting, to being more informed about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding Matters by Best Start. Just Google that. There's a great PDF book, and actually we have this book or this booklet on hand here at the center if you're wanting it. There's 10 Reasons to Breastfeed Your Baby by the Public Health Canada, also on the website, and we also have those pamphlets here. Paul Newman is the breastfeeding guru, and he has a lot of information on YouTube. So check that out. There's Breastfeeding Support Group. We offer a breastfeeding support group here every Friday. Different topics every time. Sometimes it's more of a social get-together, but it's hugely a mom-to-mom support, and those are some of the best resources for you. So that's my next point. Talk to friends and family who have breastfed or who are breastfeeding to see how they're doing it, what works for them. Just talk to them, and it's good to have those kinds of resources. Talk to your public health nurse, doula, or midwife. They're a great place to go to for any questions or concerns. All the public health nurses in our area know a lot about breastfeeding, and they can help you out. For the really tough cases, they will probably refer you to one of the two. I believe there's 2 lactation consultants in public health right now, and they will probably refer you to one of them. There are also privately owned consultants or businesses who offer some consults in regards to breastfeeding. So we have a couple of those names here at the center. So if you're needing that, just ask us. And lastly, there's also, it's not lastly, but it's the last one I have. There's the Women's Hospital breastfeeding hotline in Winnipeg that is open. They're available 24 hours a day, so you can call them day or night, and you can talk to anybody about your issues as well. And that is all. And there are a lot of other resources. So if there's specific questions that you have, or even some comments, feel free to email me or message us through Facebook or whatever it is. And if you want more information, I can send you some resources via email, or you can pop in here at the center to get some of that. I hope that was helpful, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.